Howdy, Internet. Is your short game in PGA Tour 2K23 not up to par? In this video, I will be going over my tips and tricks for getting up and down from just about anywhere on the virtual links of PGA 2K23, and some things you can do as far as your skills and stats that will help you become a wizard with the wedge. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thanks for checking out this video. The first shot that we're going to talk about is probably the most dreaded shot you can ever have in this game or in actual golf, and that is the short-sighted bunker shot. We find ourselves here at beautiful Pebble Beach Golf Links in Monterey, California on the first hole, and this is my thought process when I've left myself with such a shot. The nice thing is that it is uphill to the pin, so we don't have to worry about this getting away from us. We can hit this by the hole. That is totally fine. In general, when you have this shot, you're short-sighted, not a lot of green to work with, your first thought should be to just get this past the pin, give yourself a chance from hopefully inside 10 feet. A must for me from here is holding left bumper, adding as much loft to as I can just to get this coming a little bit higher. The benefit of that is that it's also going to come out with a little bit less topspin. If you want to hit a shot that's going to hop once and just zip and sit on a dime, bring that right stick all the way down too. The other key thing to keep in mind here is looking at your lie percentage up there. Here we have a very nice lie in the bunker, all things considered, 81 to 91%. That means I don't have to aim this too far by the pin, all things considered. Maybe just about here or so. A little bit uphill, 10 feet, so that works out to about 3 yards uphill. So putting it just past the pin here, about 3 yards. And then it's time for the scariest thing, which is trying to get this tempo correct, which is tough. Anything in gray is totally fine. Don't want to get too fast or too slow with this, obviously, because then you're going to leave it in the bunk. Not an amazing shot. I definitely went a little bit overboard on the power there, but 21 feet left, downhiller. It's not the worst putt in the world to have. It's not breaking a ton. Get your par and get out. Let's talk about a chip shot from just off the green on the fringe. These little 6-yard chips that you have are tough because the minimum that you can hit this is 4 yards. And we know these roll up pretty good. Thankfully here it's uphill, so that helps us out a little bit. A tip that I have for these is putting your marker on the pin, and in your swing, you want to go through it before you hit the vibration. And that way, you know it's going to come up a little bit short of where you're aiming because you haven't hit vibration yet, which means it's not going to go the distance where your marker's at. And it's a little bit more consistent than setting that at 4 yards and trying to get perfect tempo on that swing. You see there we came up just short. The ball was looking into the hole there. Let's now talk about shots from around the green from the heavy rough. Some of my least favorite to have. Hitting a chip from the heavy rough, if you're above the hole or if you have a lot of green to work with, go for it. Other than that, I'm never hitting a chip shot from a situation like this. Even with as short-sighted as I am, I'm still going to go with a flop shot here. And because this is going to come out 70 to 81%, it's still pretty far by the hole. I'm going to put full backspin on this. I'm taking this back to where I barely feel any vibration in the controller and trying to get good tempo from there. It sits down pretty reasonably. In a shot like that, as you get better at it, you can start to hone that in and start trying to hold those out from there. Now let's look at a long bunker shot, and even better, a long bunker shot where we do not have a flat lie. From a distance like this, 29 yards, a little bit uphill, you know, these shots are really tricky when you're going downhill because it's so hard to stop the ball out of these bunkers sometimes. Here it's kind of the same thing. It's 78 to 88%, but uphill into it, it's going to be pretty easy for this to stop. I'm aiming past the hole here. Not really doing anything to this, and because of my lie of how uphill this is, I'm going to aim just about to where almost my head of my player is in line with the pin, because this ball is going to come out straight left, and it'll even come out more left if I hit this fast, and it'll come out less to left if I hit it slow. You see, that's just a terrible shot. That's what you don't want to do. And that's what I was trying to demonstrate there. It does give us an opportunity to talk about chips where you have 58 to 69%. These chips a lot of the time are not going to fly very far. Obviously, they're going to come out really low, but they're going to come out with a ton of topspin, which you have to account for. So to help combat that, I like to put as much loft as I can on this. I'm aiming just about pin high with my marker most of the time. And when it's uphill like this, I even like to go a little bit past it. And then besides that, you're just trying to play this slope. All we want to do is carry it over this little hill in front of us onto the green. You see, that was black slow and it's not great. So how about a downhill bunker shot working away from you? It is extremely hard to get these to sit. And if you look at our lie, 62 to 71%, the worse your lie is by percentage, the less backspin you can get on the ball. So something like this, I don't have a ton of hope here getting this to end up within 3 feet. The best you can do is just try and play this slope and get it to the low point. If I can get this somewhere sort of in this area, just so I have an uphill look that's somewhat straight, that's all I'm really asking for here. But I have to play this way out to the right with this slope. And I just caught it too good, to be honest. Perfect tempo on it. Wasn't expecting that. Left myself with exactly what we didn't want, which was this big slider. And then you make double bogey and you just move on. So now I'm just going to go over some shots that I'm giving myself from the bunker and around the green and just go through my thought process with them. Here, 68 to 78. Short-sided greens running away from me. I'm going to throw all the spin and loft I can on this thing. Play this a little bit by the hole. It's going to come out a bit to the left, but this slope is going to kick it right. I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, just past the pin. Want this to come out, take one big hop, and then just sit. I was a little bit too strong on that effort. I was a little scared of leaving it short there. You know, inside 15 feet, inside 10 feet are makeable putts. Here's a nasty shot. Ball way below our feet from the heavy rough, technically speaking. So this ball's going to shoot straight right on me. Honestly, with the amount of green that I have to work with here, I'm okay with a chip shot. I mean, I'm trying to play this thing way out left. It's going to just basically shoot dead right on me. Green is working back to my left, which is nice. 72 to 83, playing at about pin high. And if I'm aiming here, it's going to shoot out right of this. So something like this and just hope that it works out. Not bad. Didn't come out as right as I thought it would. Leaving ourselves inside 10 feet. Pretty straight putt, allegedly. Get out of danger. Here we have a chip from the fairway. Back up into the hill. A pretty reasonable slope here. So we're trying to fly this a little bit farther than we usually would with a chip. Chips in this game run out a ton, even with lob wedge. So most of the time you're aiming... If this shot was completely flat, I'm probably trying to land this right here and have it run out. But since it's so far uphill, I'm looking about here. And I'm playing to hit this probably gray fast, but if I can get perfect tempo, that'd be nice. Again, looking at my lie itself, it's going to come out a little bit to my right. It's a little bit below my feet. Once I've picked out where I want to land this, after that, it's like reading a green like a putt. It's going to move to my right a little bit. Have to take into account the way that this ball is going to bounce. Is it going to bounce straight? Is it going to bounce a little right? If I land it right in here, this seems to be a pretty flat spot, so it'll bounce pretty straight. But again, playing for this to come off a little bit to my right from the lie. I actually went left, which, you know, that's golf for you. But a reason to believe, we get our double bogey, we get out. This bunker shot here, I wanted to show to give an example of a time where you would actually use the chip shot from a bunker. We have a very nice lie, 82 to 91%. You could do this with a worse lie. It's just not going to be as consistent. If you don't have any elevation to deal with, you don't have a high lip, you're not coming out of a pit, you can definitely play a chip shot from a bunker And in most cases, when you have a lot of green to work with, if it's not downhill, it's honestly the right play. It's the better play than a splash shot. With the lie, I mean, determine the distance that's going to go with the lie penalty, which is 19 to 9%, and just play like any other normal chip shot you would have from the fairway or whatnot. To continue on the topic of hitting other shots than a splash shot out of a bunker. No. To continue on the topic of hitting shots other than a splash shot out of a bunker, a shot like this, it may be a good idea to utilize the flop shot. Get this straight up in the air. Green's running away from us, but right behind it is back into us. Really only want to play this about pin high. And watch this. Takes a pretty big hop, but you even get a little bit of backspin off that back slope. Use that backstop to help you out. This isn't the most fun putt to have, but another long bunker shot from green side. How about a pitch shot? Why not use the pitch shot from a situation like this? Ton of green in front to run this up. Even a little bit of a backstop behind the pin. 76 to 85%. Looking to hit that somewhere in here. It's going to run out a decent amount. Oof. Saw how much run out that got. It's a shot that I would use in a situation like that. I got plenty of green short to work with, and I can run it up there. The last thing I want to go over are some skills that you can put points into that will help you around the greens. First of those being this first tier skill with wedges. Splash shots receive a timing boost from the bunker. This will help with getting better tempo out of the bunker so that, first of all, you're not leaving your shots in the bunker, and that you might even get perfect timing out of a bunker shot using a splash shot. Incredibly important. The next skill I would recommend putting maximum points into is the bump and run, level 3. Chip shots receive a roll boost out of the heavy rough. With this, you will see that your chips from heavy rough get more consistent rollout. And what happens with chip shots from heavy rough is that some of them will come out pretty normal. They'll hop and roll out a decent amount like a normal chip would. But others you'll see come out with a lot of topspin and run out a ton. So getting more consistent roll out of the heavy rough, if you find yourself there, is very important. The next tier up from that, dialed in, is an extremely useful skill to have maxed out. Chip shots receive a timing boost from within 26 yards of the pin. Again, better timing, getting closer, have it perfect timing so that you're not black fast or black slow in chips and leaving them in the heavy rough. The next tier up from that, dialed in, is another very useful skill to have maxed out. Chip shots receiving a timing boost within 26 yards of the pin. Again, just getting closer to having more consistent and better timing is always really nice to have on chips, because as I myself find them extremely difficult to get perfect timing with. Floptastic is a really nice skill to have maxed out. Flop shots receiving a shaping boost from the heavy rough. Having a higher shaping stat with a flop shot from a heavy rough is really nice. You can get the ball up in the air, you can put more backspin on it, and it won't hurt your range for tempo as much. Is really nice to have, because out of the heavy rough, otherwise you're not going to get the ball to sit at all. And for me, at the final tier, I like to have the timing boost from the fairway with my wedges. Just in general, hitting full shots, hitting pitch shots, hitting chip shots, splash shots, flop shots. Well, not splash shots, but hitting any type of shot, having a timing boost is really helpful with your wedges, because otherwise you're chunking it. And real quickly, just to speak on fittings for your wedges, I think the most important things to have for wedges is timing, swing path, and shaping. And even if you can get lie range in there a little bit, if you get lucky on your fittings, shaping again is helping that when you want to put more loft on the ball or put backspin on it, it's not hurting your forgivability as much. Swing path is always important regardless of the club. Timing is extremely important in general, but with wedges, it can make or break you getting out of a bunker or leaving it in a bunker. And lie range just makes it more consistent from any lie that you may have. Fairway, sand, rough, not having such a wide gap in how far the ball can fly. you could see from my examples from on the course that that range was pretty big because my line range is only 71. The higher that gets, the smaller that window becomes. It's not a 21% difference. It's maybe only a 10% difference, or even better if it's maxed out. So in closing, I hope this helps you guys out a little bit with your short game in PGA 2K23. And I hope that with these little lessons and this advice that you can become way better than me around the greens, as you saw. And I hope to see you out there one day on the virtual links. So again, thank you for checking out this video. Thank you for watching. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel is always appreciated. And as always, stay safe, work hard, be proud of yourself, and above all else, please be lovely people. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.